Now we are going to start a detailed lecture on photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a redox reaction. Redox reaction is a reaction that is the combination of oxidation and reduction reactions. It means that photosynthesis में oxidation and reduction दोनों processes होते हैं. Let's observe from its equation. We have carbon dioxide, water. This is the equation of photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide is the oxidized form of carbon. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड की फॉर्म में कार्बन जो है वो अपनी ऑक्सीडाइज्ड फॉर्म में है. When it is converted into glucose, you can see that it has much proportion of hydrogen. It means that now it has been reduced. So पहले कार्बन अपनी ऑक्सीडाइज्ड फॉर्म में था, then अपनी reduced फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है, that is glucose. So this reaction represent reduction. On the other hand, this water is converted into oxygen and it is without hydrogen. It means that it is oxidized. यहाँ पे हाइड्रोजन मौजूद है, it means it is reduced form, while यहाँ पे हाइड्रोजन मौजूद नहीं है, it is oxidized form. क्योंकि reduced form से oxidized form बनी है, it means it is oxidation reaction. So you can see that during photosynthesis both reduction and oxidation occurs. So overall it is a redox reaction. इस इक्वेशन से फोटोसिंथेसिस एक बहुत सिंपल रिएक्शन अपीयर होता है, बट photosynthesis is a very complex reaction and it involves different phases. Photosynthesis involves light dependent reactions and the second phase is light independent reactions. So these two phases occur during photosynthesis. Some reactions require light for their happening, therefore they are called light dependent reactions, while some reactions occur in dark, they don't require light for their happening, therefore they are called light independent reactions. This is the overall process of photosynthesis. This is chloroplast. This side shows light dependent reaction and this side shows light independent reaction, that is also called Calvin cycle. होगा क्या? From sunlight, light को capture किया जाएगा by the photosystems that are present on these thylakoid surfaces, and during this light reaction oxygen is evolved, ATP is formed, NADPH is formed, and this ATP and NADPH are used during the light independent reactions. You can see that it is transported to the light independent phase और यहाँ पे यूज होगी कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, ATP एंड NADPH और उससे प्रिपेयर होगा GA3P. GA3P को यूज करके कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स की फॉर्मेशन होगी एंड दोबारा से ATP को कन्वर्ट किया जाएगा ADP में और NADPH को NADP पॉजिटिव में. इनको दोबारा से भेजा जाएगा लाइट डिपेंडेंट फेज में एंड इनको दोबारा से ATP और NADPH में कन्वर्ट किया जाएगा. That will be used in next dark reaction. Now we will discuss these reactions in detail. Light dependent reactions. Light dependent reactions are those reactions that involve the use of light, जिनको light required होती है होने के लिए. So during light dependent reactions ATP is formed. ATP is formed and this process is called phosphorylation. फॉस्फोरिलेशन इसको इसलिए कहा जाता है बिकॉज ADP वहां पे मौजूद होता है, उसमें फॉस्फेट ग्रुप को ऐड किया जाता है एंड देन इसको कन्वर्ट किया जाता है ATP में. इट मींस दैट यहाँ पे फॉस्फोरिलेशन होती है ADP की एंड देन इट इज कन्वर्टेड इनटू ATP. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड फॉस्फोरिलेशन. और क्योंकि ये फॉस्फोरिलेशन लाइट की मौजूदगी में हो रही है, दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड फोटोफॉस्फोराइलेशन. Photophosphorylation means production of ATP in the presence of light. Light के presence में ATP की production करना photophosphorylation कहलाता है. Now there is two type of photophosphorylation. First type is non-cyclic photophosphorylation, while the second type is cyclic photophosphorylation. Non-cyclic photophosphorylation में non-cyclic electron flow होता है, while in case of cyclic photophosphorylation ATP की प्रोडक्शन होती है by the cyclic flow of electron. The first type of photophosphorylation is non-cyclic photophosphorylation. In non-cyclic photophosphorylation, ATP is produced during non-cyclic flow of electrons. It means that इसमें electrons का flow non-cyclic होता है और electrons के flow से जब energy release होती है उसी energy को use किया जाता है to phosphorylate ADP to ATP. So this is called non-cyclic photophosphorylation. There are different steps in non-cyclic photophosphorylation. We will discuss them one by one. Here is the figure of non-cyclic photophosphorylation. The first step is, first of all, light energy in the form of photons will fall on chlorophyll molecules of photosystem 2. So first step is the absorption of light by the chlorophyll molecules of photosystem number 2. फोटोसिस्टम नंबर 2 में यहाँ पे क्लोरोफिल के मॉलिक्यूल्स होंगे. क्लोरोफिल मॉलिक्यूल्स में इलेक्ट्रॉन्स मौजूद होंगे and when the electrons present here will absorb this photon, energy of electrons increases and they will become excited. And when the electrons become excited, they would leave these chlorophyll molecules and move toward primary electron acceptor. So first step में absorption of light by photosystem number 2 जब ये process होता है तो यहाँ पे क्या होता है, oxidation of photosystem number 2 occurs. क्योंकि electrons loss हो रहा है, that is why it is called oxidation of photosystem 2. And remember that one photon can excite only one electron. यहाँ पे 2 electrons at a time जो है excite होते हैं, therefore 2 photons will be required for their excitation. And by excitation of electrons from the chlorophyll molecules of photosystem number 2, holes are generated there. इन chlorophyll molecules में यहाँ पर holes generate हो जाएंगे और उन holes को complete करने के लिए we will have to require electrons. So in the second step, photolysis occurs. What is photolysis? Photolysis is the breakdown of water molecule with the help of light. Light water molecules के ऊपर fall करेगी और इसको इनके components में convert कर देगी. As you know that a water molecule consists of 2 hydrogen ions, 2 electrons and 1 oxygen atom. This is called photolysis of water. So जब water की photolysis होगी, ये 2 electrons move करके जाएंगे photosystem number 2 के पास और यहाँ पे मौजूद जो holes होंगे उनको occupy कर लेंगे. So the holes present in photosystem number 2 are occupied by 2 electrons that are released during the photolysis of water. Hence, by photolysis of water, reduction of photosystem number 2 occurs. This water would undergo photolysis with the production of 2 hydrogen ions, 2 electrons and oxygen atom. These electrons will move to occupy these holes and the oxygen atoms will combine together to form oxygen molecules that is released as a byproduct. And these 2 electrons that were excited by these photons will move toward primary electron acceptor, and from that primary electron acceptor they will move toward electron transport chain. This is an electron transport chain through which electrons from primary electron acceptor move toward photosystem number 1. The third step is electrons flow from photosystem number 2 to photosystem number 1. In this step, electrons from primary electron acceptors move to electron transport chain. As you can see that here is primary electron acceptor and this is electron transport chain. Electron transport chain consists of three basic components: plastoquinone, cytochrome complexes, and another protein plastocyanin. प्राइमरी इलेक्ट्रॉन एक्सेप्टर से सबसे पहले इलेक्ट्रॉन आते हैं प्लास्टोक्यूनिन के पास, दैट इज अ प्रोटीन, एंड देन प्लास्टोक्यूनिन से आगे मूव करके जाते हैं साइटोक्रोम कॉम्प्लेक्स के पास, दैट इज अ कॉम्प्लेक्स ऑफ टू साइटोक्रोम्स, cytochrome B6 and cytochrome F. And then from cytochrome complex, the electrons will move toward another protein, plastocyanin, that is basically a copper containing protein. From primary electron acceptor, electrons will move toward plastoquinone to cytochrome complex, and from cytochrome complex it will move toward plastocyanin. And during this movement, the electrons will lose their energy, and this energy would be used for the formation of ATP from ADP. This process is called chemiosmosis. And this chemiosmosis is a very important phenomena that occurs during non-cyclic photophosphorylation because it produces ATP that is required for the next process of photosynthesis, that is dark reaction. Now from plastocyanin, the electrons will move towards photosystem number 1 that absorb the wavelength of 700 nanometer. At the same time, when the photons will excite the electrons present in photosystem number 2, some of the light will also excite the electrons present in photosystem number 1. So, these two photons will excite two electrons present in the chlorophyll molecules of photosystem number 1, and these two electrons will move toward primary acceptor. And the two electrons that are coming from photosystem number 2 through this pathway, they will fill the hole that are present in photosystem number 1, and the electrons of photosystem number 1 will move toward primary acceptor. Electrons of photosystem number 2 will fill the holes present in photosystem number 1. At the same time, electrons of photosystem number 1 will move towards primary electron acceptor. From primary electron acceptor, electrons will move toward ferredoxin. Ferredoxin is basically an iron containing protein that will accept the electron and will help NADP to be reduced into NADPH. These two electrons that are coming from photosystem number 1 along with these two hydrogen ions that are obtained by the photolysis of water, they will combine together to reduce NADP positive into NADPH2 with the help of an enzyme called NADP reductase. This is the whole process of non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Now we will summarize it. सबसे पहले फोटोन्स आएंगे, दो फोटोन्स आएंगे और वो एब्जॉर्ब करेगा फोटोसिस्टम नंबर 2 और यहाँ से दो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स यहाँ से मूव करके जाएंगे प्राइमरी इलेक्ट्रॉन एक्सेप्टर के पास, और यहाँ से क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रॉन्स मूव कर गए हैं, इलेक्ट्रॉन्स की डेफिशिएंसी क्रिएट हुई है, दैट इज वाई यहाँ पे होल्स जनरेट हो जाएंगे. एंड टू फिल अप दीज होल्स द वाटर मॉलिक्यूल will undergo photolysis and produce two hydrogen ions, two electrons and an oxygen atom. These two electrons will be used to fill up these holes that are produced by the excitation of electrons. And these two electrons that were excited will move toward primary electron acceptor, and from primary electron acceptor they will move toward a protein called plastoquinone. From plastoquinone, it will move toward cytochrome complex, that is the complexes of two cytochromes, cytochrome B6 and cytochrome F. From this, it will move toward plastocyanin. Plastocyanin is a copper containing protein, and from that protein, the two electrons, by losing their energy, they will fill the holes that are present in photosystem number 1. And during the movement of electrons in the electron transport chain, the energy of electrons will be used to phosphorylate ADP into ATP, and this process is called chemiosmosis. So these two electrons that are coming from photosystem number 2 will fill the holes that are present in photosystem number 1 by the excitation of electron. एग्जैक्टली जिस टाइम जो है वो यहाँ पे होल्स जनरेट होंगे, उसी टाइम फोटोसिस्टम नंबर 1 में भी होल्स जनरेट होंगे और यहाँ से भी इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जो हैं वो मूव करके जाएंगे प्राइमरी इलेक्ट्रॉन एक्सेप्टर के पास, और वो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जो फोटोसिस्टम नंबर 2 से रिलीज हुए हैं वो फिल करेंगे इन होल्स को. And the electrons of photosystem number 1 will move toward primary electron acceptor to the ferredoxin. Ferredoxin is an iron containing protein, and from ferredoxin it will move toward NADP reductase that will accept these electrons and will reduce the NADP into NADPH. Now we will observe the input and output of non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Input of photophosphorylation is photons. Overall कितने photons यूज हुए हैं? 4 photons plus 1 molecule of water. So photosynthesis में 3 major reactants थे, carbon dioxide, water and light. तो light और water ये दोनों light reactions के reactants हैं, और output में हमारे पास आता है ATP that are produced during chemiosmosis, and the second output is NADPH, that is a reducing power. Both these outputs are used during dark reaction. Now the second type of photophosphorylation is cyclic photophosphorylation. Cyclic photophosphorylation is the production of ATP during cyclic electrons flow. जब इलेक्ट्रॉन्स का फ्लो साइक्लिक वे में होगा, उससे जो एटीपी प्रोड्यूस होगी, उस मेथड को साइक्लिक फोटोफॉस्फोरिलेशन कहते हैं. इट इज एग्जैक्टली द सेम एज नॉन साइक्लिक फोटोफॉस्फोरिलेशन विद फ्यू एक्सेप्शंस. अगर देखा जाए तो दोनों में फोटोफॉस्फोरिलेशन हो रही है, नॉन साइक्लिक में भी एंड साइक्लिक में भी. तो साइक्लिक की जरूरत क्यों पेश आती है? रीजन फॉर साइक्लिक फोटोफॉस्फोरिलेशंस. Remember one thing that cyclic photophosphorylation कोई अलग से प्रोसेस नहीं हो रहा होता, और ना ही ये ऑल टाइम फोटोसिंथेसिस के दौरान हो रहा होता है. ये कुछ टाइम के लिए एक टेम्पररी सिचुएशन है, और नॉन साइक्लिक फोटोफॉस्फोरिलेशन ही शिफ्ट होती है साइक्लिक फोटोफॉस्फोरिलेशन में. When there is enough NADPH, फर्स्ट रीजन ये हो सकती है कि NADPH जो है वो हमारे पास इनफ हो, उसकी यील्ड इनफ हो और हमें ज्यादा रिक्वायर्ड ना हो. एंड द सेकेंड रीजन इज एटीपी की डेफिशिएंसी हो, या फिर रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ एटीपी नॉर्मल लेवल से ज्यादा हो. उस केस में नॉन साइक्लिक फोटोफॉस्फोरिलेशन विल शिफ्ट टुवर्ड्स साइक्लिक फोटोफॉस्फोरिलेशन. Here is cyclic photophosphorylation. You can see that electrons from photosystem number 2 will move toward primary electron acceptor and from that to electron transport chain. At the same time, electrons from photosystem number 1 will move toward primary electron acceptor and from that to ferredoxin. This is exactly the same process as in non-cyclic photophosphorylation. But यहाँ पे क्या होगा? If we have enough NADPH, so वहाँ पे NADPH की प्रोडक्शन की और जरूरत नहीं है, so we will not produce NADPH and the non-cyclic photophosphorylation will turn into cyclic manner. Instead of moving electrons from ferredoxin to NADPH reductase, those electrons that are coming from photosystem number 1 will again move toward cytochrome complex, and from cytochrome complex they will move toward plastocyanin and again toward photosystem number 1. फिर दोबारा ये इन होल्स को आके फिल कर देंगे. एनर्जी फिर आएगी, फिर इलेक्ट्रॉन्स यहाँ से रिलीज होंगे, प्राइमरी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक एक्सेप्टर उनको एक्सेप्ट करेगा, they will move toward ferredoxin to cytochrome complex to plastocyanin to photosystem number 1. Similarly एक और साइकिल बिगिन होगा और जब तक इनफ एटीपी प्रोड्यूस नहीं हो जाएगी ड्यूरिंग द मूवमेंट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स थ्रू साइटोक्रोम कॉम्प्लेक्सेस बाय कीमियोऑस्मोसिस, तब तक ये साइकिल कंटिन्यू रहेगा. So remember that the components of cyclic photophosphorylation are different from the components of cyclic photophosphorylation. यहाँ पे cytochrome complex, plastocyanin, photosystem number 1 only one primary electron acceptor and ferredoxin. Only these 5 components will involve in cyclic photophosphorylation और ये प्रोसेस तब तक कंटिन्यू रहेगा जब तक इनफ एटीपी की प्रोडक्शन नहीं हो जाती है. Non-cyclic photophosphorylation is also called Z-scheme. Z-scheme इसको इसलिए कहा जाता है क्योंकि इसमें इलेक्ट्रॉन्स का फ्लो एक Z पाथवे की शेप में होता है. That is why it is called Z-scheme. Input and output of cyclic photophosphorylation are also different from non-cyclic photophosphorylation. You can see that in cyclic photophosphorylation there is only photons that are used as input. So 2 photons or more than 2 photons. You can also write photons as well as light. और आउटपुट में just ATP प्रोड्यूस हो रही है. There is no production of NADPH. Last of all, we will discuss the comparison between cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. In case of non-cyclic photophosphorylation, both type of photosystems including photosystem number 1 and photosystem number 2 are included. While in case of cyclic photophosphorylation, only photosystem number 1 is used. During non-cyclic photophosphorylation, the outputs are NADPH, ATP and oxygen gas as a byproduct. While in case of cyclic photophosphorylation, only ATP is produced. Photophosphorylation that occurs during photosynthesis normally is non-cyclic, so it occurs usually. While cyclic photophosphorylation occurs only when there is much more need of ATP, so it occurs at times. It is a long-lived type of photophosphorylation, while it is short-lived or it is temporary. Next, we will discuss about chemiosmosis. What is chemiosmosis? Chemiosmosis is the process that uses the membrane to couple the redox reaction with ATP production. It means that chemiosmosis में दो रिएक्शन की आपस में कपलिंग हो रही होती है, रिडॉक्स रिएक्शन एंड एटीपी प्रोडक्शन. बेसिकली कीमियो वर्ड शो कर रहा है केमिकल्स को. इट इज ऑल्सो फॉर आइंस. एंड ऑस्मोसिस मीन्स, यू नो दैट osmosis means movement across the membrane. So chemiosmosis involves the movement of hydrogen ions across the membrane to use the energy of electrons for ATP production. It occurs both during cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. As you know that ATP is produced in both type of photophosphorylation. That is why chemiosmosis occurs in both types. Now we will discuss about the mechanism of chemiosmosis. So mechanism of chemiosmosis involves the following steps. First of all, hydrogen ions produced by photolysis of water are pumped by electron transport chain across thylakoid membranes. फर्स्ट स्टेप में क्या होता है, इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हाइड्रोजन आइंस जो कि प्रोड्यूस होते हैं ड्यूरिंग फोटोलाइसिस ऑफ वाटर. यू कैन सी दैट हियर इज द फोटोलाइसिस ऑफ वाटर. और इसमें ये जो हाइड्रोजन आइंस प्रोड्यूस हुए हैं इनको पहले ट्रांसपोर्ट किया जाता है इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसपोर्ट चेन में से इनको गुजारा जाता है, और इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसपोर्ट चेन में से जब इनको गुजारा जाता है तो हाई एनर्जी इलेक्ट्रॉन्स की जो एनर्जी होती है वो हाइड्रोजन आयंस को ट्रांसफर कर दी जाती है. देन दिस पंपिंग requires energy that comes from electrons moving through ETC. ETC इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसपोर्ट चेन मींस इस पंपिंग के लिए इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को गुजारने के लिए थायलाकॉइड ल्यूमेन से क्लोरोप्लास्ट स्ट्रोमा में गुजारने के लिए इस मूवमेंट के लिए एनर्जी रिक्वायर्ड होती है. और ये एनर्जी कहाँ से आती है? उन इलेक्ट्रॉन्स में से जो इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसपोर्ट चेन में से पास कर रहे हैं. सो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स की एनर्जी ट्रांसफर कर दी जाती है इन हाइड्रोजन आयंस को, एंड देन these hydrogen ions are passed through a special structure called ATP synthase. This ATP synthase is basically a F particle having two parts, F naught and F1 particle. This is F naught particle and this part is F1. So electrons, hydrogen ions move from F1 part to F naught part, and the energy of electrons is used to phosphorylate ADP into ATP. So in this way ATP is produced during chemiosmosis. Then hydrogen ions move down their gradient through ATP synthase in thylakoid membranes. So let's summarize it. By photolysis of water, 2 hydrogen ions and 2 electrons will produce. 2 electrons will fill the holes that are present in photosystem number 2, while these 2 hydrogen ions will move through electron transport chain and they will gain energy from the electrons that were excited by this light. And by gaining that energy, these hydrogen ions move down their concentration gradient from an area of higher concentration to an area of lower concentration. And by during their movement through ATP synthase, the energy of these hydrogen ions is used to phosphorylate ADP into ATP, and they move from thylakoid lumen to stroma. So this was chemiosmosis that occurs in both type of photophosphorylation, whether cyclic and non-cyclic. We have discussed about light dependent reactions which involve photophosphorylation. Now we will discuss about light independent reactions. Light independent reactions ऐसे reactions होते हैं जिनको occur होने के लिए light की requirement नहीं होती. That is why they are called light independent reaction. Light की मौजूदगी हो या light मौजूद ना हो, इनके ऊपर light का कोई effect नहीं होता. That is why they don't require light. They are called dark reactions because they can also occur in dark. That is why they are called dark reaction. And the mechanism of light independent reactions was explained by Melvin Kelvin and his colleagues at University of California. That is why it is also called Kelvin cycle. After that, Melvin Kelvin was also awarded by Nobel Prize in 1961. Light independent reaction or dark reactions occur in stroma of the chloroplast. Kelvin cycle is divided into 3 major phases, which include the first phase, that is called carbon fixation, second phase is called reduction phase, and the third phase is called regeneration of carbon dioxide acceptor. This is the Kelvin cycle. The first phase is कार्बन फिक्सेशन. कार्बन फिक्सेशन में सबसे पहले a molecule named as RUBP. RUBP stands for ribulose bisphosphate. It is also called carbon dioxide acceptor because it combines with carbon dioxide. RUBP is basically a 5 carbon sugar with 2 phosphate groups. It looks like this. These circles are representing carbon and this P represents a phosphate group. So this is a 5 carbon sugar with 2 phosphate groups at each end. This 5 carbon sugar reacts with carbon dioxide in the presence of a very important enzyme that is called Rubisco and forms a very important compound called 3-phosphoglycerate. Rubisco is a very important enzyme that is protein in nature. इसके बारे में कहा जाता है it is relatively most abundant protein in nature. And Rubisco stands for ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase. You can see in this figure, this is a ribulose bisphosphate RUBP with 5 carbon atoms and 2 phosphate groups at each end. Its 3 molecules combines with 3 molecules of carbon dioxide. It means that 3 molecules of RUBP combine with 3 molecules of carbon dioxide. Each molecule of RUBP accepts carbon dioxide molecule. This reaction is facilitated by an enzyme named as Rubisco, and hence 3 molecules are formed having 6 carbon and 2 phosphate groups. 3 molecules are formed and each molecule consists of 6 carbon and 2 phosphate groups. But this molecule is very unstable. Each molecule is broken down into 2 molecules of 3 carbon compound that is called 3-phosphoglycerate. Hence 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerates are formed, 2 from each 6 carbon and 2 phosphate group molecule. Three molecules of ribulose bisphosphate combines with 3 molecules of carbon dioxide and they form 3 intermediates, and each intermediate consists of 2 components, 6 carbon atoms and 2 phosphate group. Then each intermediate is broken down. Because it is unstable, it immediately breaks down into another molecule. This combination is broken down into 3 carbon and 1 phosphate group. इसके 2 मॉलिक्यूल जनरेट होते हैं और हर मॉलिक्यूल में 3 कार्बन और 1 फॉस्फेट ग्रुप मौजूद होता है. हेंस ओवरऑल जो 3 मॉलिक्यूल्स इंटरमीडिएट के तौर पे बनते हैं उनसे 6 मॉलिक्यूल्स बनते हैं 3-phosphoglycerate के, 3PGA. So in carbon fixation 3 molecules of RUBP and 3 molecules of carbon dioxide, और प्रोडक्ट के तौर पे हमारे पास आते हैं 6 molecules of 3PGA, 3-phosphoglycerate. Next phase is reduction phase. Reduction means addition of hydrogen, addition of electron or removal of oxygen. In reduction phase, each 3-phosphoglycerate molecule is phosphorylated by 1 ATP. हर मॉलिक्यूल के साथ एक और फॉस्फेट ग्रुप ऐड किया जाता है और वो फॉस्फेट ग्रुप कहां से आता है? एटीपी से. दिस इज कॉल्ड फॉस्फोराइलेशन. एंड आफ्टर दैट उस फॉस्फोराइलेटेड मॉलिक्यूल में हाइड्रोजन आयन की एडिशन की जाती है. दिस इज कॉल्ड रिडक्शन. और वो हाइड्रोजन आयन ऑब्टेन किया जाता है NADPH से. दैट इज कॉल्ड रिड्यूसिंग पावर. So that is why this phase is called reduction phase. As we know that there are 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate. So to phosphorylate 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate, we require 6 ATPs. As well as to reduce 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate, we require 6 molecules of NADPH. You can see that this is the reduction phase. Each molecule of 3-phosphoglycerate is phosphorylated with the help of 6 molecules of ATPs. So ATP is converted into ADP by adding 1 phosphate group to 3-phosphoglycerate. Then this 3-phosphoglycerate is converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. Then 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is reduced with the help of reducing power called NADPH. 6 molecules of NADPH are used to reduce 6 molecules of 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. Hence, 6 molecules of NADP positive are produced along with the formation of 6 molecules of 3GP, that is called glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. And during this process, one of the terminal phosphate group is also released as inorganic phosphate. 3-phosphoglycerate is phosphorylated with the help of ATP. It accepts a phosphate group from ATP and is converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. 3-phosphoglycerate looks like this. Phosphate group at its terminal position with 3 carbon atoms. While 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate looks like this. these are the number of carbon atoms. This is the phosphate group on one terminal position, and this is another phosphate group on another terminal position. So you can see that the phosphate groups are present on carbon number 1 and carbon number 3. That is why it is called 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. In the next step, this 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate will be reduced with the help of NADPH along with the formation of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and NADPH is released as NADP positive, and one of the phosphate group from 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is also released, and the product is called glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So in case of reduction, 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate, 6 molecules of ATP and 6 molecules of NADPH are reactants, while 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and 6 molecules of ADP, 6 molecules of inorganic phosphate and 6 molecules of NADP positive are the products of reduction phase. Now from these 6 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, one molecule is released from the cycle and other 5 molecules are further used for the regeneration of carbon dioxide acceptor. Now this one molecule is used for the production of carbohydrates. That is the actual output of this cycle. Now the last phase is regeneration of carbon dioxide acceptor, that is RUBP. In regeneration phase, remaining 5 molecules of G3P reacts with 3 molecules of ATP to become phosphodilated, and by rearranging number of carbon atoms, they form 3 molecules of RUBP. As you can see that in 5 molecules of G3P there are 15 carbon atoms. Three carbon atoms in each molecule of G3P. So overall 5 molecules of G3P have 15 carbon atoms. Now these 15 carbon atoms react with 3 molecules of ATP and they get 3 phosphate groups. You can see that we have total 15 carbons along with 6 phosphate groups. Now these 15 carbons will arrange themselves into 3 molecules of a 5 carbon compound, each molecule with 2 phosphate groups. So it would be like this is an RUBP molecule with 5 carbon atoms and 2 phosphate group at each end. Now 3 molecules of RUBP will formed from 5 molecules of G3P. This is called regeneration of carbon dioxide acceptor. That is why RUBP is also called precursor, because it is the product of previous cycle. ये previous cycle का product होता है जो कि next cycle का first reactant भी है. You can see that one of the G3P molecule is released from the cycle and the remaining 5 molecules of G3P will react with 3 molecules of ATP and they will convert into ADP, and one of the phosphate group from each ATP molecule will react with these molecules of G3P and they will form 3 molecules of a 5 carbon sugar called RUBP. So this was the whole Calvin cycle. Now if we summarize this cycle, we can draw an equation in which 3 molecules of carbon dioxide, 9 molecules of ATP and 6 molecules of NADPH. These were the reactants and they produce G3P, 6 NADP positive, 9 ADP, 9 phosphate groups, inorganic phosphates, along with the formation of 3 water molecules. Now this cycle will repeat to produce 1 molecule of glucose. So for the production of 1 molecule of glucose, we will require 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 18 molecules of ATP and 12 molecules of NADPH. We will produce carbohydrate named as glucose, 18 ADP, 18 inorganic phosphates and 12 NADP positive. These ADP and NADP positive are then reused in light reaction and they will be converted into ATP and NADPH. And this carbohydrate, glucose, is used in respiration for further production of energy. So that was all about photosynthesis. You can see that apparently it is a very simple process, but actually it is a very complex process.